everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 2024 trade deadline. Kevin Ostreicher joining me now. Kevin, how are we feeling about this Austin Hayes? Austin Hayes traded to the Philadelphia Phillies for Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian I think it's Pache.
Yeah,
Pache?
Man, great. I mean, we started to see the influx of trades come in last night and really kicking off trade season. We saw a couple before that, but just kind of minuscule moves. And now we're kind of getting into the nitty gritty. And we have a lot to talk about, man. I mean, an outfielder that could be a bench guy, can play a couple positions, a righty bat. And then you have Sir Anthony Dominguez. They needed pitching help. We'll get into what he can bring. Trying to see if Ryan is going to hop on at any point here, but for now, we'll just call this an episode of Kevin and Zach Reacts and go from there. But look, I think the first thing we have to talk about here is Austin Hayes has been through the gutter with this team, and he saw a lot of bad games, was on a lot of bad teams, and was one of those guys that kind of helped the Orioles weather that storm and transition into this competitive period. And obviously baseball is a business. And I personally, and I talked about this, we had talked about this, there just wasn't a fit for him beyond this year. And so I think that this is a good move from Mike Elias to move off of somebody that probably wasn't going to be back next season. You already have a surplus of outfielders who can play this year and still compete for a World Series. Wasn't getting playing time anyway. And he moves on. The Orioles move on. So I think that overall you get value back for a guy that only had this year left. And this helps the team in the immediate. And it gets a guy in Austin Hayes to somewhere where he's just going to play more.
Yeah, and I think this trade is honestly just trying to get value at the end of the day. It's one of those, you got a bullpen piece. You're shoring up the bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez is not going to be a guy that's going to close games. He's not going to be a guy that goes out there and he won in the ninth inning of a big high-pressure situation. Let me share my screen for a second. I just brought up his Baseball Savant, his metrics. So as you guys can see, big velo guy, 95th percentile in fastball velo. His average exit velocity is in the 90th percentile, so he's getting soft hits. And hard hit percentage is also 90. So a lot of soft contact just all around from him. Doesn't have the greatest chase or whiff, but not too concerned. He's a pitcher that, and then breaking run value in the third percentile. I think this is a trade that made room. You know, I think that the biggest thing about this is it was to get clear roster space. I don't think this was like, oh, we need Sir Anthony Dominguez, we need Christian Pache. Like, it was to move on from Austin Hayes and give guys an opportunity. Does this mean now Norby, if he stays, is in that rotation to play outfield and be that right-handed bat? You know, it opens up a lot of questions. This is not the Orioles' only move. I think we started to kind of see and kind of get the feeling that the Orioles might move away from some veterans. You start to see the reports that the Phillies had called about Mullins. Obviously, they end up getting Hayes. You've seen Mountcastle get tossed around in some trade rumors. So it's going to be interesting. I think this opens up. I see a few people saying, who's this open up stuff for? I think Norby. I think it also opens up an opportunity for right-handed batters like Mayo. And then you also, at the end of the day, you now, without having to get Austin Hayes in, you can play Kowser more. You can play Kerstead more. So it allows less guys to have to ride pine, and you can let these young guys kind of get a little bit more every day.
Yeah. And we're not sitting here and saying Sir Anthony Dominguez is, the Orioles savior, right? We're not saying that, but at this point you understand, if you're the Orioles, that you need pitching help, both starting and in the bullpen. So what you do here is you bring in a guy that is just another arm and can help.
Yeah.
Is he a guy that is going to be your closer? I don't think so. Is he a guy that's going to never give up a run? Absolutely not. But at this point, you needed to do something. Hayes wasn't playing anyway. And when you talk about roles, Zach, I think Pache, if you keep him as like the fifth outfielder type on this roster, if that's the route they decide to go, I feel better having him there as opposed to Hayes, who just doesn't feel like a fifth outfielder, in my opinion. And I think that's where the Phillies saw an opportunity to package their fifth outfielder with, they didn't feel like they needed anymore, and go get somebody in Austin Hayes. And the Orioles had Austin Hayes, who they didn't really need anymore, because this is kind of the path that I've been talking about for a while now, where they are going to get younger in this offseason. And that included guys like Hayes. It includes guys like, what's the future of Mountcastle and Mullins? So this, and by the way, everybody looking at this is like, okay, this is the move. I don't think they're done personally. Like, I think
this is to open up more room to make moves.
Yes.
This is not.
I think people look at this face value, and we can look at it face value, for sure. But at this point, this is the opening act, in my opinion, and I feel like we're gonna have a better idea of what this team is, obviously, once that deadline hits 6, and we can go, okay, they got Dominguez and Pache and whatever other moves they make.
Yeah. And I really just don't know how long Pache is going to stay on this squad.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm going to be honest. I don't, maybe a week, if even. Like, is he just going to get Like, I think this was to get Dominguez, to get another bullpen arm that they feel confident in, while also freeing up outfield help with Austin Hayes kind of moving on. I don't necessarily see Pache being Chris, I'm trying to look up if he has options. I don't think he does, which makes this kind of interesting to me. Yeah, he has no minor league.
I think it was just a throw-in.
I do too. I think this was.
Yeah. I mean,
look, I could very well see him getting DFA.
Who would you rather have up, him or Stowers, him or Mayo? Like, he's the guy that goes if somebody gets called up. Like, now, I mean, we know Urias became more valuable after the Mateo injury, even though Norby is up now, and Norby should be getting the majority of the at-bats in the starts. But him as a utility guy gets valuable because Mateo is out. Now, Pache, that's just like an easy 1-for-1. Like, if you want to bring Stowers up, if you want to bring Mayo up, that's your 1-for-1. Now, this was a 2-for-1 trade. So the way that this becomes a 1-for-1 trade is if Pache is DFA. So, and they're a team that needs to utilize every single one of their roster spots. And I think if Pache clears waivers, goes down to AAA, fine. Like, cool. You have him as a depth outfielder. But there are better options for the Major League roster.
Seeing mixed signals in the chat on how they feel about this trade. So let us know. Yay or nay, 1 through 10, how much do you like this trade? 1 being you absolutely hate it. 10 being you think this is awesome. This is the best trade we could have made. Kevin, I'm going to sit at this is like a 7. I think I kind of understood that Austin Hayes probably wasn't going to be here much longer. Like, I think this literally just feels like kind of like they got something for DFAing Hayes. Like, they needed to get clear room to get other people out there. So they just kind of they got a bullpen. They switched bullpen arms, or they got a bullpen arm for a guy that really become the last outfielder on this team.
Yeah, and like I'll go 6.5. I think, again, I agree with you where this is a move that good ball clubs who are trying to compete make, right?
Yeah.
Where if you have a guy, he's not playing for you, he has some level of value across the league, and you know that he's probably not going to be an everyday player for you, even into the playoffs. What's the need for him on the roster? So you go and you have pitching help, you need pitching help, and you trade him for a guy that, again, is not going to be the savior of the bullpen, but can at least help you in spots. He can help you in spots this year. So I'll give it a 6.5. I mean, I think part of that, but again, this is the same thing. I mean, a lot of people, and look, rightfully so, again, as I mentioned at the beginning there, Hayes has helped them through a lot of tough years, a lot of tough times leading up to their competitive era. So it's kind of like how it felt when Trey got traded. Now, obviously, to a lesser extent, Trey obviously was this mega figure right? Hayes is not on that level, but it's the same concept of, sure, he was on those really bad 110 loss teams, but now he gets an opportunity. So in my opinion, it's like you get your bullpen arm. Now I'm curious to see if there are any other moves, which I do think there will be. Is it just going to be for a starter? Are they going to get another bullpen arm? I think they're done with the. I think. Do you think? Now I'm torn. I was going to say I think they're done with the bats, but do you think they're done with the bats?
No. Yeah. I mean, like getting rid of Pache, like that.
Well, no, but like I'm saying, could you see them making a move for a bat now that
like made room to bring in another outfielder?
But is that outfielder Stowers? Or is that roster spot Mayo is the question.
No, but are you saying like would they trade for another bat now that there's technically an open roster spot?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I think this was to clear room. And also, I do want to point out in his last 26 appearances, Sir Anthony Dominguez has a 2.18 ERA. So, I mean, he pitched 25.2 total innings during that and has a 2.81 ERA. So, I think I've seen some stuff about his control being kind of an issue, a little wild. But he's got a lively arm. The Orioles like to take chances on those guys. So, hopefully he comes in here and can just be a guy. Like me and Kevin are saying, this is not someone that we think is going to suddenly be thrusted into the 8th inning, the 9th inning of a one-run game immediately tonight. I think this is a guy that they feel comfortable. If it's a 2-3-run game in the 7th, they're going to put him in. If it's lower leverage, and if he proves to be able to be one of those guys, awesome. But I still think another move is coming in the bullpen. This almost makes me guarantee that we're getting more bullpen help because of how early on in the process this was. Like if this happened on Tuesday at 10 a.m., I would have been like, oh shit, there's our bullpen move. But I feel like this is just the beginning of it now. So I know a lot of people are going to look at this as Hayes for Pache. It's not that at all. You're not replacing Hayes with Pache. I think it's literally they got a guy that they hope can be a decent reliever for them, help them out in the bullpen, and they also helped clear up some space on the roster for an expiring contract because Hayes was done after this year, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
I
think it's Mullins who has one more year, and Hayes was done. So this was a rent. This is a rental essentially for Philly.
Yes. No. He does have one more year. Year.
Oh, does he? Who? It's Tony.
Tony's up after this year.
I always get confused. Yes. So not a rental. We're going to clarify. Not a rental here. By the way, while Zach looks all that up, welcome into Kevin and Zach Reacts. Say first ever trade line. Kevin and Zach Reacts. This is what we do this for. We go live after every Orioles game, after every Orioles big move. We're going to do it for Ravens as well, and just reactions in general. So we're actually moving over to a different channel, like very momentarily. So like very, very soon. So we're going to have an announcement on that. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow, Zach? Are you feeling that?
Yeah, I think we do something.
All right. So we're going to announce that tomorrow. New logo, new everything. We're going to move that over there. And the Ryan Ripken Show is live Mondays and Thursdays. We're going to have a special trade deadline stream on Tuesday. So be sure to like and subscribe as well over here on this channel. And part of the Ryan Ripken Media Empire, of course, Kevin and Zach Reacts is. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and giving us a part of your Friday. Hopefully everybody has a nice weekend lined up at the ballpark. Zach, you going tonight?
Oh, I'll be there. Floppy hat night.
I'll
be there. I'll be there. But I also want to talk about Sir Anthony Dominguez has one more year on his contract and then a club option. So you could have him for 2 more years. So this is a bullpen arm with control. This is not going to be a rental either way. Yes, I also see in the chat, Fuji was DFA'd by the Mets today. Don't get me started on that. I would do it in a heartbeat. And I would be prepared to be hurt again.
That's your other bullpen move? Is Fuji?
Would not be my only other one, but I would love to take a flyer on Fuji again.
Yeah. So all right, let's do a little bit of state of the Orioles and state of the Orioles bullpen with Sir Anthony Dominguez now in the fold. So I'm going to pull up their roster quickly because Correct me if I'm wrong. Baker is not on the
No, Baker's
roster
back.
anymore. He's DFA'd, right? Or is he back?
He came
Or
back.
he got optioned.
He got optioned and then came back the next day. He came back yesterday.
Okay, so it's
He's
Aiken.
he's the one who replaced Mateo.
Oh yeah. All right. Aiken, Baker, Cano, Irvin, Kimbrel, Natoli, Perez,
Birch,
Smith,
Smith.
Webb, and now Seranthony Dominguez.
Yeah. Okay. So what? I assume they got to make a move to clear the bullpen. Do they just send Baker down again? Unless they just DFA Pache right away.
I mean, they could. I mean, who's the other guy? Is Natoli the guy? Like,
They don't. I don't think.
I feel like Baker is the pretty obvious option, but
Yeah.
They do have to clear a spot in the bullpen. They do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, Natoli's been pitching well.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
He's been
saying.
pitching well, and they got options on other guys. So we'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's kind of move back into where we think what this means for the future of the trade deadline. I said I think we are definitely getting another reliever. So in the chat right now, yes or no, do you think the Orioles, do you think they're going to acquire another reliever? So yes, they will get another reliever. No, this was their reliever move. Kevin, what say you?
I do think there's room for another one. I do think it depends on how the Orioles feel about their bullpen help they already have. And my answer to that would be go get somebody else. Just because, I mean, again, Dominguez can be a piece, but I think that there's room for more improvement. And to me, if Dominguez is the only piece, then like I feel fine, like not great, but fine. But I'd still like more. I feel like what they could do is we've been talking about those like 2 for 1 options, or just 2 for maybe prospect options of starter bullpen guy. We've been talking about that for a while. And I feel like that could be the move we're looking at. And then they trade back an MLB guy and prospects in that deal. Yeah. So
I would love if we still went out and got like a Tanner Scott. Like if you add Tanner Scott, if you get Dominguez and Tanner Scott, I would take that as a solid. That's a solid haul in the bullpen for the deadline. Then you have to add a starter.
Yeah, I mean, a starter is still a necessity. You still have to add a starter. I'd be floored if they didn't. I'd be pretty disappointed if they didn't. Because there's just so much uncertainty there. And you have Burns, you have Rodriguez, then we can all think about it for this season, which is, the season is important. But what about next season? How much control do you want out of a guy? Are you getting a rental, or are you getting a guy that has 1 or 2 or even 3 years of control? Because with Bradish and with Means and with Wells and the uncertainty surrounding Burns, we're going to enter the offseason, regardless of what happens this season with the Orioles, and talk about how starters are such a need. And you can get ahead of the 8 ball here for the Orioles by trading for a guy that either you have a good shot to re-sign in a rental situation, or has multiple years of team control, or just 1 more year of team control while you wait for those guys to get back, or you just figure it out.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where I am with it.
Yeah. I think this move is fine. That's why I gave it a 6 on my excitement thing.
I gave it a 7, by the way.
I did?
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5. I wanted to – I was going to give it a 7 too, but I wanted to be different.
Yeah, so I gave it a 7. I think it was a good – you got a bullpen piece. You didn't touch your prospects at all. And then you go in and you clear up room for potentially bringing up guys like a Kobe Mayo. Do I think Kobe Mayo comes up today? No. But I think this is after the trade deadline. This now opens up more opportunities to get these guys out there, to play Cowser, to play Kerstead every day. It's those type that's what this really intrigues me about this trade, is how it opens up the realm of more playing time for guys already on the roster. I don't think they traded Hayes because they didn't think he could help this team. I think they traded Hayes because they thought this was the opportunity to get the most value for him in a spot that they are so log jammed at already. So they're like, okay, we get a bullpen piece back and a flyer on Pache. You guys get a well-rounded fourth outfielder. I know obviously Austin Hayes was an all-star last year, all that. Like, he had kind of fallen out of graces in Baltimore. Not saying he deserved that, but he wasn't getting playing time anymore. He was sitting on the bench. He was kind of just it felt like it was just clockwork, Groundhog Day. Austin Hayes out in the lineup. Lefty comes in the 8th inning. Austin Hayes pinch hits for someone. And then it just felt like that over and over. And it's going to be interesting to see now, instead of starting him every 5th day, do you have, or every 3 days, you can now give Cowser and Kirsten more opportunities.
Yeah, and again, look, we have to look at this in the context of the entire trade deadline, where if this is the only move the Orioles make, then like that's pretty disappointing for a lot of people, myself included. But it's so hard because there are so many different moves that have to happen now. They have to clear a bullpen spot. They have to figure out what they're doing with Pache. Are there any other moves that are going to happen? Like, looking at this as a 1-for-1 in context deal is fine, and we're doing that. We're like, it makes sense for both sides. Where it's a pretty, it's a big deal for a lot of people that Hayes is gone, but not for the reason of he was helping the team right now. It's more of the like nostalgia for a lot of people. It feels like he's been with this team forever. It feels like, and that's where it is. But in reality, we're not talking about a situation where Hayes was going to be this everyday player for them down the line, where in Philadelphia, he'll have more of a role, and the Orioles needed the bullpen help, so they get a guy.
I agree. All right, let's go specifics. Who is the next player you'd acquire if you're Mike Elias? Mike Elias. Not position. I want specifics here.
Wow, specific player. Do you have one in mind right now?
Yeah, it's the same guy I just said. I would go get Tanner Scott. I'd get Tanner Scott, or I would go get Eric Fetty. That would be my next move right now, at this instant.
I'd try to see what's up with either Fetty or Talion, one of those guys, just a starter. Yeah. I mean, I think to me, 2 bullpen arms and no starter is a disappointment. I think 1 starter and one.
I thought you said, yeah.
I think 1 starter and 1 bullpen arm I'm okay with. Where it's like, okay, I'd love
now because let's just now let's include this into it. Are you okay with this being the 1 bullpen piece though? So if we just go get a Fetty and then it's Fetty and Dominguez were the deadline, are you okay with that? Because I don't think I am.
If that means that they get a starter, like if it is Dominguez and a starter as opposed to 2 bullpen arms, I'd rather have Dominguez in the starter.
Yeah, I just don't think.
I hear you. We're in agreement that I think they need something else in the bullpen. But
I think they need 2 more trades now, or like I've said before, double dipping. If you
I still wouldn't think Fetty and Dominguez is enough, but I would be more okay with something like that than 2 bullpen arms and no starter, because look, it's not a great situation because both are just so inconsistent outside of 1 or 2 guys. And in the bullpen, it's outside of 0 guys. So
everyone's inconsistent there.
Yeah. So it's tough, man. But I think when you're thinking about this from a long-term perspective, the starter makes in
order to go forward, you have to go back. Maybe let's see if his arm's still on.
Wow. I was about to say a name that you hate, but I'm not going to say it for here. You would not.
What are you going to say, Kevin? What are you going to say, Kevin?
You want me to actually say it?
Sure, Kevin.
Jeremy Guthrie.
Oh my God, that's not even funny.
I told you.
Yeah, yes, that is true, man. Sir Anthony Dominguez is inconsistent too, and that is why you need to go get another bullpen arm still. And Kevin, we've talked about this a lot. We're not asking anyone to be the solution. We're asking for people to not be a part of the problem in this bullpen. No one is single-handedly going to fix this bullpen, but don't be the guy that goes out there and gives up 4 runs when we're up 3. Stop having the massive blow up innings. You don't have to play hero ball and throw 3 shutout every time you go out there. Just pass the torch. Be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem.
Yeah, and that's what we've been kind of preaching for all year, where it feels like a guy gets into a rhythm and then that same guy blows a game, and they are the issue. So Dominguez is going to have those outings, I'm sure. Nobody's perfect, and he certainly hasn't been this season.
No.
But they needed something fresh, and sometimes change of sceneries can do well for guys. Is this the move that they're getting, like prime Sir Anthony Dominguez, and he's the guy that he once was? No, we're not saying that. But I think this is the start of what's going on here. So
yeah, no, it's going to be. I think that this is just the first of many moves, and by many moves I mean probably 2 more. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm most intrigued right now with what they do with Pache, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
maybe
I feel like they have better options. I just feel like they have better.
They have way better options. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Oh, and hey, Mike, appreciate it. Dominguez does have a career 1.13 ERA in the playoffs. Things you love to see.
You love that. Hopefully that can continue because
and I've considered this. Pache's the pinch running option and play some Mateo.
If that happens, I don't think you. That was tough because I was expecting them to trade one vet, but do they trade both him and Mullins? I don't think so.
Yeah, like if you just traded Hayes for an inconsistent bullpen arm that we think has high upside, and we've seen that upside before, and then a pinch runner, I very much would question this trade. Like if we're just trying to acquire fast guys, we have fast guys. Like I don't see the point in just keeping him on the roster that we're already trying to get these young guys up on, and having him just ride pine in hopes that he gets an opportunity to steal a base in the 8th. Like that would be, I would be disappointed if that's the plan with this. And that would, if part of the reason I like this trade is because of how it opens up the roster in the outfield another spot. But if you're just replacing it with a guy that's worse than Hayes, but just a little just faster, then I question this trade.
Right. I feel like they have better options. Again, if they decide to send him down, he clears waivers, you have him as like an emergency outfielder down in AAA. Like, okay, like that's fine. But that's why, I mean, I'm so excited for Tuesday now because, all right, Discord. Yes, I'll do that while I'm talking. But now I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. This is why it's like I can't wait for Tuesday because, I mean, I want to take this in context of the whole deadline, right? Where, we're talking about all these what ifs and potential things happening of do they do this? Do they do that? Who gets traded now? Who gets traded? Do they add this guy? Do they add this position? We don't know. we can obviously, we'll speculate. We'll talk about it. We'll try to predict it. But that's why it's like, is this the only move? One more move, 2 more moves. So to me, it's like they have 5 other things they have to do. And we're trying to compartmentalize it into like a 2-for-1. This is the only thing that's happening, which we can do to an extent. But to me, it's like, man, Tuesday's going to be hopefully a crazy wild day. And these are kind of like the couple trades to kick it off right here.
Yeah. And yeah, from what we've been seeing, and especially from what Philly fans I've seen online, they're like, he's just fast. Like he's kind of, that's what he does. I remember actually him coming in as a pinch runner against the Orioles. So that's when yeah. And hey, let's do a quick roll call. Who's going to be at the game tonight? I see a few people talking about, I'll be at the game tonight. I'll be at Pickles, usual. So Jonathan, appreciate you. Are you guys shocked about Hayes gone? When I first saw the notification, yes. Like that it happened. Like it was one of those, am I shocked it happened overall? No.
Yeah.
I think we all agreed at least one veteran would kind of be gone. Was I shocked that like when it happened this or like it's always you prepare yourself for trades, but then when all of a sudden you're just like the notification hits like Austin Hayes is a Philadelphia Phillies, of course I'm like, whoa. Like that, like the immediate shock, yes, but overall, I'm not shocked that this kind of trade happened.
No, me either. And honestly, if we're talking about if we're sitting here at the end of the deadline and the Orioles only traded one of their veteran pieces, going into this deadline, I would have wanted it to be Hayes.
I did the exact same thing. I did double check to make sure it was not photoshopped.
Are you getting you almost got by a real thing?
By you. You sent it. I was like, is this real? I was like, there's what?
Well, I think everybody with the trade deadline just expects like, oh, we're gonna wait till Tuesday, and that's when we're gonna really figure that out. By the way, Discord link is in the chat if you want to join the Discord. We have a great community, over 200 members in there. So it's great. We do live Orioles game watch-alongs in there, Rolling with Rock, and a bunch of others have been helping out with those and just the Discord in general. We have baseball chat, football chat, just chat about live. Link? Yes, right link. So if you want to join, and by the way, this is the Ryan Ripken Show. Well, this is Kevin and Zach Reacts, but we are on the Ryan Ripken Show channel, Ryan Ripken Media. Kevin and Zach Reacts is live after every Orioles game, after every piece of Orioles big news. We'll do it for the Ravens as well. We're moving over to a new channel, so really appreciate you following us over there, hitting subscribe over there. We'll have new logos, new everything. Still under the Ryan Ripken Media Show empire. We're not, abandoning Ryan and taking this and doing our own thing. Still gonna, Ryan will hop on, Rocco, Brad, the whole crew. And then the Ryan Ripken Show, obviously, my live Monday and Thursday. I had a great show yesterday. Trey Mancini we had on, who, again, gave us – it was
subscribe button on this channel as well.
Yeah, incredible interview. And then we'll have a great trade deadline extravaganza on Tuesday. We'll go live, and we'll take you right up to the deadline. And that one I'm really excited for, Zach.
Yeah. And so I wanted to answer this. How much experience does Norby have to play the corner outfield spots? Every day. Because of Jackson Holiday, because of Jordan Westberg down there, Joey Ortiz last year, Connor Norby over the past year, I would say, especially this year when Jackson Holiday was healthy, Connor Norby played left field and right field every day. I would be more comfortable with him in right field, just the way, but unfortunately we kind of have a bunch of I would be more comfortable with. We just have this is the big downside. I'm not going to deny this. Losing Hayes sucks for left field.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no one who played left field better than Hayes. Kowser's getting up there. Definitely the more he plays out there, you can just see it gets better and better. But
yep. Yeah, I mean, here's a question for you. Do you think we see, obviously we're going to see more of Heston and more of Kowser with this move. This takes away all those at-bats. It's an interesting dilemma because we know the Orioles, we'd kind of like to see them get a bat to, jumpstart this offense a little, more consistently. Yeah. But then the dilemma with that is who does that take away from? Because we want to see Heston get more bats. We want to see Kowser get more. Does that mean relegating Mullins to a full-time or full-ish time bench role, and you put Kowser in center, and you get you bring in another left fielder? What do you think about what they need to do with the outfield? Because we've been really saying, all right, we want these young guys to get a shot. Now they free up the space, but it's do they bring anybody else in to help the offense out?
I don't know, Kevin. I'm gonna just answer you straight. I don't know, because it's funny. We keep talking about how we want to see these right-handed bats and stuff, and I've been saying it. We're too left-handed heavy. But at the same time, if they truly believe in Colton Kowser and Heston Kjerstad, they should be playing every day regardless of lefty-righty. We were talking about how we were upset that, and here's where it opens up stuff. We were upset that Colton Kowser was only getting starts against lefties. because of how jam-packed the outfield is. Now it just having one less outfielder, and I don't think they feel any pressure, honestly, to get Pache in if they even keep him on the squad. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it just opens up more opportunities to get one of Kauser or Kerstead and see them more all around first righties and lefties.
Yeah.
Also, real fast, boom, boom, Berlin. Justin, appreciate you as always.
Appreciate it. Tommy saying, what's the other channel?
It'll be announced tomorrow. We'll have a live stream tomorrow in the mid-afternoon to announce it.
Yeah, we'll review that, and then we'll begin cross-streaming, I think, pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So this is kind of ushering out of this show on this channel is Austin Hayes leaving the Orioles.
Can we dream for a second? Like, how insane would that be if all of a sudden Robert and Fetty
would be good?
I know everyone else was probably like Robert and Crochet, but I went right to Robert and Fetty. I don't want.
Well, and we had talked about it yesterday. Like the Crochet, I don't know who's going to trade for him or just what that looks like, because there are all these reports and rumors about like what he wants, like the extension and not pitching in the playoffs and all that crazy stuff. So,
yeah, it's I think that ruined his chance of being traded. I think already people were weary of trading for him, but that just kind of sealed the deal. Let's talk about Ramon Urias now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm seeing some people talking about him in the chat. We just saw Hayes get moved on from. There was a lot of things of what veterans are they going to move on from. We saw Hayes get moved on from. Obviously, the Jorge Mateo injury makes this interesting. But do you think they still DFA or move on from Ramon Urias?
I mean, my gut answer is I want to wait till the deadline. My other gut answer is
Mateo. But he could be in a trade.
Well, I know. And that's again why I want to wait. But like the other part of this is like they obviously like him.
Now just rip it. Now that you got one guy gone, just rip him.
Well, okay, now you're just saying Chuggy. Now you're saying trade Mullins and Mountcastle. Get everybody.
Could you imagine if all of a sudden you just like the phone starts ringing? It's like Mullins gone, Mountie gone, Ramon gone. They're just like.
I mean, I don't think that's a 0% chance. I don't think it's very likely.
I actually don't think it's a 0% chance either. Especially just.
I think it's probably like a 1% chance, but like it's not a 0% chance. But to me, I think Norby stays, first of all.
Yeah.
But with Mateo now out of the picture for a little bit, I think that kind of sealed the deal that he's going to stay, and then maybe they DFA him after Mateo comes back. And I agree with this. I do think Ramon could be valuable for another franchise, but I don't know if the Orioles look at Ramon and be like, we trust this guy, and he's a guy that, again, how I'd want this to work if they kept him.
No, I think she means in a trade.
Well, no, I agree. I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I agree that he could be valuable somewhere else.
So he's got 2.5 more years on his contract. He's a Gold Glove utility player.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I totally agree with that.
I think he's got trade value.
I do too. But I look at it and I'm like, okay, let's say Urias gets traded, right? Let's throw that out there. Mateo's gone till what? September, at least, maybe.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't expect.
I mean, I'm not a doctor. I know you're not.
The way that Brandon Hyde was hitting at it yesterday, they needed to do more MRIs. It just keeps getting worse the more the swelling goes down. I see. They went from they named it the one thing, and then the next day they were like, yeah, just kidding. We gotta get more imaging, and Hyde said it's not going to be he won't be playing for a while. So that kind of hints at me that he's done for the year.
So you have Norby. Do you have it be a situation where it's either you bring Mayo up and have him play some level of third? If they trade Mountcastle, you can bring Mayo up and have him play first. Or you could just use him as the DH. I mean, there's obviously that too, because we know the defense for him is, there are questions. But then do you make Westy, and I see Delaney saying make Westy the concrete third baseman. Do you put Norby full-time at second and
until Mayo comes up, and then
you make Westy the full-time third baseman, and then Mayo comes up and you have that other issue. And I see people about
once you bring Holiday will take over second from Norby.
Well, yes, but
Norby will become that right-handed outfield bat if he is still here.
I think with the injury to Mateo, Norby becomes really, really important, and I think Stowers is the guy that now is most likely to be dealt as like that piece. Like if you want a big piece, you have to probably trade a Norby, right? And I think they should. But speaking realistically, do they is the question. Do they feel like he's the guy that they need now that Mateo is out? Do they feel like Jackson is ready enough to call him up? I mean, he's just now starting to play defense again.
Yeah.
So it's pretty poor timing, if we're being honest. Like, obviously, injuries happen. I feel bad for Mateo, and like you hope he has a speedy recovery. But the timing of the whole thing just is unfortunate for everybody, where we don't know if Mateo's going to be able to come back this season because we're so late in the year. And that I feel awful for him. And then for the Orioles, it's like we're less than 5 days away from a deadline that's super important to your competitive chances. And Norby was a piece that, like, you're thinking, all right, big fish, Norby can be expendable because of all the depth. But now Mateo is not here anymore. So he becomes the depth. And that's the question that now the Orioles have to answer.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot answered over the next few days. I don't know if you saw that one. Would you trade Norby and Heston for Fetty and Robert?
No.
You wouldn't.
I would not.
I wouldn't. I would help them pack.
You would. You said you would not.
I would help them pack.
Wow. All right, what's your reasoning?
Luis Robert is really.
I know he is.
He would be our number. He would slide in at the number 3, number 4, and this offense would be unstoppable.
I would want to, and look, obviously I'm playing and like
Gunnar, Adley, Robert, like that's.
I would want a package more so.
Heston, buddy.
I would more so want a package surrounding, and this is not realistic, but if I were trying to agree on something for Robert, oh man,
it's tough.
Like, I mean, here's the dilemma, right? Everybody wants the package to be like Stowers and Seth Johnson, right? Like, like that's everybody wants that to be the package. But in reality, if you're going to get a guy like Robert and you have a Fetty attached, even if you want to just throw out Fetty and just put Robert in by himself, you're going to have to trade a big piece. Now, your opinion on Robert is probably, does he help the team beyond this year? Obviously, yes. His contract is incredible.
He's got 3 more years.
Yep, incredible. But it's how you feel about Heston, I feel like, is the kicker.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So, and obviously, it doesn't help that Robert, as much as we keep saying we want all these righties back in the lineup to even it out, Robert being a righty, does that take away some of his power with the Camden Yards wall? So much to consider. And thank you all for joining us here. If you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. This is not the Ryan Ripken Show. This is Kevin and Zach Reacts. We'll be moving on to a new channel actually tomorrow, but we are still doing it right here. We will not be leaving the Ryan Ripken Show on Mondays and Thursdays. We go live for all of these big breaking newses every day after the Orioles game. So we will be live again tonight, win or lose. So if you enjoy the content, would really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. Kevin, man, it's gonna be fun. And we got a trade deadline show coming up Tuesday. We'll probably be with you from 3 to 7-ish.
Yeah, 2 to 7, 3 to 7. Huge trade deadline stream. And of course, we're going to be talking not just Orioles trades, but every move that happens in that time frame. We'll be breaking it down, reacting to it. How does it impact the Orioles? How does it impact Major League Baseball in general? So
breaking news is that wasn't
breaking news is there we go.
Breaking news is
breaking
baby.
News is
and so real quick does Robert, that's the only thing that concerns me. When he's on the field, he's a stud, but he has to stay on the field. But right now, I'm kind of just in the mode of I want to win a World Series so badly that I'll take that risk.
And that is the That's the yes. Well, yes, that as well. But that's a story for a different day. Wow, on Ryan O'Hearn's birthday too. I didn't even realize it was Ryan O'Hearn's birthday. That just popped up on my.
Why would this have anything to do? Why would
not the most important birthday today, by the way. And we love Ryan O'Hearn on this show.
Oh yeah, true.
But if people didn't know, today actually is Ryan's birthday.
Ryan Rifkin.
So
happy birthday, Ryan Rifkin.
Yeah, happy birthday to Ryan. Obviously, I don't know if you texted him, Zach. I texted him happy birthday.
I did.
Well,
you're not a piece of shit.
I did. I tried to call him, but
you know what? I'm just gonna. Usually we don't like doing this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We're 2 subs away from 11,000. So if you will be,
are we? Wow.
You will be the 11,000 sub.
Again, if you want to get us to 24,000, we're doing a 24,000 subscriber 24-hour live stream.
$10.99.
And then on the new Kevin and Zach Reacts channel at 2,400 subscribers, I'm going to be
11.
doing. What'd you say?
I said we just hit 11.
All right.
Appreciate everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for thank you, everybody, for that. That means a lot. But for the Kevin and Zach Reacts channel at 2,400 subscribers, I am going to be doing a 24-hour live stream over there. So get us to that as quickly as possible, and we're going to have a lot of content coming your way for that. But I'm just excited for the trade deadline, man. Like, this is kind of the this is the teaser, it feels like, for it. It does. So
so much fun to come. So much fun to come. And obviously, you know what I'm excited for? Dude, I've thought about this. If the Orioles win the World Series, I'm going to be a mess on this show, Kevin.
I think everybody will.
Like, I will be chugging spicy waters. I will be crying probably. I will then be taking shots, crying again, hugging random strangers, crying again. Like, there will be so much emotion. I will feel like I'm in a glass bottle of emotion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there'd be a single soul that wouldn't be a mess, especially after all the team has gone through and the journey to get there. But you know what? They have to do it first.
Yep.
And that's the one. So I guess you're gonna be volley on the streets tonight.
Oh yeah, we'll be volley on the streets. Let's head out here on this question. Actually, Sunday is TBA first star. Do we think we trade first star before then? No, I think it's Cade Povich. I think they bring up Cade.
Yeah.
I would love if they did. Like, it would be electric if they did, but I just don't see the next 2 days you get a guy and then he starts Sunday. Like, maybe they trade before then for a starter, but I doubt that starter starts on Sunday. You know what I mean, Kevin?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be electric, but not something I'm expecting. Again, I expect this to be like the teaser and then everything else to happen on Tuesday, and watch me be wrong and they make a deal like tomorrow. Like, watch it happen.
Man, yeah, it is. I will say this is a sad day because Hayes was a part of the down years. And also what kind of sucks is he was the one in the offseason that came out and was like, I would like to sign an extension in Baltimore. And unfortunately, everyone at the time kind of was like, we love what you do for us, but I don't know if extension is, with all the outfield prospects. So I'm glad he's in a great place in Philly. I'm already expecting in Game 2 of the World Series, he will hit a 3-run go-ahead home run against us. Lock it in stone. Yep. That will happen, and it will piss me off. But we just have to accept it. That's kind of how things work out, especially in baseball.
Odds it's off Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Oh, man.
Or does Sir Anthony – you know what? If the Orioles and Phillies are in the World Series, there's a 1,000,000% chance – massive moment of the game, it's Dominguez versus Hayes. Like, it's just, that's how baseball is. That's how.
God, gonna be so crazy.
I never said this, Kevin.
You never said that?
No, actually, that's what I used to call him too.
Oh, wow.
I would play Hayes. It was kind of, it got bad for a little bit. There were some stretches where that man was just finding ways to, like we saw yesterday.
Yeah, the Orioles certainly, yesterday. I certainly found a way to do it yesterday.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Okay, so here's the other thing. And I know we said we're going to get out on that last question, but Pache was once a top prospect. This is
but he's not now.
I know. And I don't want him to be if Pache's going to stay on the team, I don't understand this trade. I understand this trade if it opens up a spot for someone else to come up, but
yeah, well, I mean, it was a 2-for-1 for the Orioles, where again you make it a 1-for-1 if you DFA Pache. So yeah, that is what it is.
Yes, they are. Once the official moves go through, they are eligible. It would feed families. Boom, boom. Feed families. Actually, the walk-off stolen home.
Wow. Yeah. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. But I also would not be surprised if do we know who's on the taxi squad? Because the Orioles have to make an official move because they have 27 guys on the roster right now with Pache and.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who.
Who are they gonna get rid of? I don't.
I'm so scared Pache is gonna stick around for a while. Be like a Tony Kemp.
They just don't have the room. Now, at least, you're trading an outfielder for a bullpen arm. Yeah. And you're gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, and Brian Baker, we would assume is most likely the move.
Mm-hmm. That'd be the one.
Birdland minute, I hope not. I really hope not. I would be confused about that. I would go from a 7 to a 4.
Wow, that's a big drop off.
Yeah, because the majority of it, I liked it because it gave us another piece in the bullpen to see what happens with control. And then it cleared up space. If it's not clearing up space, I don't know why we were just I feel like we downgraded at the bat, and we need our bats to wake up right now. And downgrading the bats doesn't make sense to me in this scenario unless you're opening up a spot,
Could be. Yeah. I mean, you have to get the bats woken up.
Please. That was the great.
That was electric. Tim Beckham was electric.
That's what was it? 7 for his first 7 here?
He was.
I know it was at least. I know it was 6 for 6 at least because I watched that in a Cheesecake Factory. But I think he got up to 7 or 8. It was
unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And Steve, I agree. Dominguez can be a stud when he's pitching consistently. All we need to see is him pitch consistently.
That's the key.
That is the key. All right. I think we've been going for about an hour since the news broke. Thank you, everyone, again. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We actually just hit 11,000 while you're here. And, oh, man, as we're going out, Deep Porter, everyone is having a great Friday. Deep Porter, we hope you and everyone else is having a great Friday as well. We do these streams all the time whenever news breaks after every Orioles game, win or lose. So rolling with Rock. Sorry, man. We tried. We were unexpectedly thrown on stream as well.
Yeah, and if you do miss one, you can always watch it back. Right? Obviously, it won't be the live component, but you can watch them back as well.
Right back. If Ramon is traded,
every trade we will go live. Every trade we will go live.
Every single trade. So we appreciate you all. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and we will see you guys tonight after the Orioles and the San Diego Padres, baby. Manny Machado back in town.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you at the yard. I'll be there. I'll be at the yard and at Pickles. If you see me there, come say hi. Love talking ball with you guys. Peace out.